Yeah, so one thing that I need to start realizing about having cheat meals slash cheat days is that I need to have realistic expectations about how much food can I actually eat. Because I literally threw out like almost a whole pizza because like I'm not going to eat it today. I need to directly go back into eating the way that I normally eat for me to be able to like normally bounce back. But like I didn't eat that much of it. I barely finished the cheesesteak. Then I had a few slices of pizza, and then I ate a insane amount of sweets. So the sweets is actually the thing that like I'm mostly consuming, and that is kind of the thing that I mostly want, to be completely fair. So I feel like going forward, most probably I'm just going to finally stick to cooking nice home meals that I actually enjoy, that are also going to have a good amount of protein in them, so like steak, salmon, and shit like that. And on top of it, I'm just going to blast myself with sweets because that seems to be the thing that I mostly prefer. Another thing that is quite difficult when it comes to these cheat days is the fact that you wake up afterwards, after you've binged on like sweets and stuff like that. You basically wake up feeling like a fat piece of shit. So like you can't move, you can't do anything, you just feel awful. So that is another thing I need to consider, is I can't really do these things when I have to go to work the next day because I'm just going to be miserable. It's not going to go well. The good thing is I hadn't consumed caffeine for a week. So today I finally had a energy drink after a week of not drinking caffeine, and that fixed everything. That like made me feel absolutely amazing. But I feel like the plan going forward when it comes to caffeine is going to be, I'm going to start slow. I'm going to have a few energy drinks during the week, but I'm not even going to consume them on a daily basis. And then gradually, as I'll go forward and as I'm going to enter the really, really rough part of the diet, then I'm most probably going to start drinking them on a daily basis again. But for now, I just want to enjoy the fact that they're actually finally working. So I'm not going to rush into like consuming too much of them all at once, because that's just going to lead me to once again being miserable. That's going to lead me to them not working, and I'll have to do another detox sooner than I want to. Because also like this caffeine cleanse thing is absolutely brutal. So like it's not fun to do these things because first of all, the first 2 days are going to be absolute hell. Like it is actually going to be like you coming off of drugs almost. And I mean, obviously, I'm over exaggerating a little bit. It's not going to be necessarily exactly as rough, but I mean, like, it felt pretty close, to be completely honest. It did not feel great. So, like, the first thing that I noticed when I was coming off of this, like, addiction of caffeine that I had was the fact that your mood is like awful during the first 2 days. I could almost kind of like compare it to like a mini depression, because like you don't like anything and you don't want to do anything and everything sucks and you're basically miserable. Then on top of it, you have this like overwhelming headache that just doesn't seem to go away, and your head like keeps on like hurting basically all day long. And normally I would have this headache for like 1 or 2 days when I come off of caffeine, but this time I've been consuming so much of it for so long that I actually had the headache for like 3 days straight. And then on top of it, also like the hunger skyrockets because you've been suppressing your hunger while on a diet with caffeine. And then all of a sudden, when there's no more caffeine, then well, you start feeling like you want to eat a lot, but you can't. And yeah, that is also another very fun side effect. So yeah, this has been a very interesting week, starting from coming off of caffeine to like the very heavy caloric deficit that I'm in right now. And then on top of it, these cheat days, like you wait for them for so long, you anticipate that it's going to be amazing. And it's almost like mental trap, because every single time I kind of know that most probably it's going to be weird because I'm not going to be able to eat as much food as I want because my stomach has shrunken down to the point where like I can't physically get so much food in. But I still kind of feel like I will. So I order a bunch of food and then I just don't eat it. So it's almost like a mental illness, kind of, because like I know what is it that's going to happen. It's just every single time I convince myself that it's going to be different, that it's going to be okay, but then every single time at the end I just end up being disappointed. So like I really have to start using common sense with these kind of things, and I really have to pace myself. So like the first thing when it comes to these cheat days, like the base food should be like something good, somewhat healthy, but I'm still going to enjoy. So for an example, like steak is something that I really enjoy, like a nice well-cooked ribeye plus like mashed potatoes, and that is also something I can consume normally because it's not as processed and it's not as bad. So I would probably need to make something like that. And then on top of it, the thing that I can always consume is like fucking ice cream and candy and like fucking Nutella with bread and shit like that. So that is something that I can always eat. So that's going to be fine. And I can just add that on top of like the proper food. And that is going to be kind of like a very decent cheat meal. Another very cool thing about these cheat meals though, on like a more positive side, is that like today I went to the gym after yesterday's cheat meal and I was so big and I was so full. You guys can see a video. I'll show you a video of how is it that I looked. This is basically how I looked, and like I was full and I looked quite good. So like if I'm going to do this again after I lose the remaining amount of weight that I need to lose, I feel like it is going to be impressive because you can kind of already see like the biceps veins a little bit. But then when I'm going to be as lean as I actually want to be, which is like 6% body fat, then you're going to be able to see a lot of veins. So I feel like that is going to look very cool, especially when I'm going to carb up after a cheat day and then I'm going to hit the gym straight after that. I feel like that is going to look great. But yeah, other than that, today is once again pretty much at its end. Today was a little bit rough, so like the thing that I always struggle with when it comes to after these cheat days is just I need to wake up and I need to throw all the food out immediately, because as soon as I wake up, my first thought when I wake up is that I want to go back to the kitchen and I want to keep on eating the stuff that I hadn't finished. And this time it was quite a lot of food that I still hadn't ate. So like I really need to control myself and I need to like immediately take everything and throw everything out. And even though it sounds like a waste, like realistically there's nothing else that I can do with the food, because like I'm not gonna offer like people like leftover food. And then on top of it I live alone, so like I'm not going to be eating anything like that for like the next 2 weeks. So like yeah, there's really nothing to do. I just need to take everything and throw everything out. And it's also like if I'm not going to throw everything out immediately, in a few hours I'm going to break down and I'm just going to start eating the stuff that I left from yesterday. So like that is not going to be a good thing, because then the cheat day is going to end up being 2 cheat days, which is already significantly going to increase my weight. So yeah, the hardest part is always just kind of like waking up, going into the kitchen, piling everything in like one big pile and just throwing everything out. So that is kind of like the thing that I struggle with the most. But then after that, actually the day went relatively fine, because I went to the gym and I was quite happy with my gym performance, because obviously I was full of food, so the gym was significantly more fun. Then on top of it I added caffeine, which just improved the experience even more. And then at the end of the day I just started eating my normal diet food. Like it doesn't even seem like food right now, because it's just like so underwhelming, both in like size and both in taste. But well, I'm kind of going back to normal slowly. So I feel like during the next few days, once again, we're going to have like huge drops in weight, because this time there was like a very large spike in weight after my cheat day. But yeah, during the next days, we're probably going to drop a lot of weight, and well, we're going to go back straight into the diet. So okay, the rest of the day is basically going to be me watching TV and probably doing some cardio at the apartment gym that I have here. And then afterwards, I'll go to bed and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow.